Beginnings by Kylie Fennell.
How hadn't she seen this? How, after all these years in exile with nothing to do but relive the memories of everything that had been taken from her? How hadn't she known? Yes, she was far from her homeland, her powers weakened. But she could still see things, and this was no ordinary thing. This was something that should have been ingrained on her very soul. It must have taken the most powerful Kengian magic to mask it from her all this time. Like every Kengian, she had been born with magic in her veins. With the right training and dedication, Kengians could become one with nature and with every living object's life force, or Kira. They could use their understanding of Kira to weave a complex dialogue with the natural elements. They could harness the power within nature, performing feats such as making crops flourish in once barren lands. Then there were the Silver Eyes, who were even more attuned to nature. They could hear and understand the gurgling voice of a waterfall, the air's whispers in the wind, the creaking greeting of a bamboo forest. Some could even perform simple tricks, like moving a stone without touching it. And one Silver Eyes in every generation of the Kengian royal family was gifted with extraordinary elemental magic. They had the power to bend nature to their will, magnifying it, manipulating it, and molding it to their own needs. Those Kengians not born to wield magic learn it. There were shamans who could meld their minds with animals and catch glimpses of the past and possible futures, and there were scholars, those who studied science and spells that captured and shaped the essence of Kira. She was all of these things, and none of them. She was much more. Not only could she be at one with a creature, she could transform herself into one. She didn't just see occasional visions of what may happen. She could divine the future and prophesize on command. She saw the invisible threads that bound every life force in this world and could call on them to do her bidding. She was the light and darkness itself. So only she could understand that the most powerful magic in all of Kypria was in play, and only she knew who was capable of conjuring up the spell to conceal this from her. The only other living fire master. And now that she did know, she and all those she loved would be avenged. A new future must be forged.
Dawn of Rebellion by Michelle Lynn.
History is going to be the death of me. My chin tilts down as my mind wanders off in an attempt to stay awake. Mr. Giles has been wittering on for the past half hour, and I can't remember anything he said. My eyes droop as weariness washes over me. I'm so tired. Tired of this class, tired of this school, this entire life. It used to be easier for me, but I don't like to dwell on the past, hence my disdain for history. England sucks. It has sucked for a long time. That is our history. But don't say it or they'll come for you. A sigh escaped my lips, and the boy in the row next to me gives me a curious look. I shake my head and look down at my desk. The colonies, Mr. Giles says, represent the worst that can happen to a modern society. My slowly closing eyes snap open. Year 10 is the first chance we get to learn about the mythical colonies. Suddenly wide awake, I lean forward and rest my elbows on my desk. We've all heard the stories since we were kids. The truth is hidden in those tales somewhere. But now, we get the whole picture. Mr. Giles continues. They are proof that in the midst of disaster, the strong countries will survive, and the weak will perish. An entire nation was destroyed. Let us never forget the mistakes that led to their demise. I am listening so intently that the bell signaling the end of the day makes me jump out of my chair. Your homework for tonight is to choose one of the many reasons the colonies were destroyed and write a one-page paper. Use your textbooks. You're dismissed. We'll pick this up on Monday. I look around in a daze and barely notice my classmates packing their books. Everyone is chatting and smiling as they leave the room, no doubt excited for the weekend. I slowly move around my desk, grab my rucksack and head for the door. Everything I pass is a blur. As I make my way to the exit, Excited chatter fills the hall as students hurry by. In the distance, I hear my name. This snaps me out of my stupor and I almost trip on my own 2 feet as someone taps me on the shoulder. Dawn? My older sister, Gabby, is annoyed as usual. I've been calling you from the other end of the hall. Sorry, I'm just really tired. I scrub a hand across my face. Gabby plants her hands on her hips, looking me over in that scrutinizing way of hers. If they didn't already know, no one would ever guess we're sisters. Gabby is tall and fit, with long strawberry blonde hair that falls over her shoulders in waves. Her eyes are emerald green and stand out against her tan skin. Gabby has the kind of smile that gets what she wants, and she knows how to use it. I, on the other hand, am built differently, short and thin. My hair is dishwater brown and cropped short, because why bother? My appearance suits me. It lets me go unnoticed, and I'm okay with that. Really. I swear. Deception by Stacey Claflin. My younger sister screamed. Natalie ran across the driveway and pulled open the driver's side door of the shiny red BMW. She moved aside the red ribbon from the giant bow and climbed inside the car. The new car scent wafted over to where I stood with our parents. I glanced over at my used, hard-earned Ford. It languished next to the glistening BMW. Pop, pop, pop! 3 of the 6 driveway lights exploded into tiny pieces and fell to the cement behind. My oblivious sister sprinted back to our parents as her blonde ponytail swayed back and forth. She gave them each a big hug and a perfect smile.
Daddy, can I take it to practice and show my friends?
Natalie pleaded with her big doe eyes. Of course, sweetheart. Let's get a picture first. My dad turned to me. Alexis, will you take a picture of us in front of Natalie's new car?
I'd rather get a selfie.
Natalie pulled out her phone and held it out.
I can't wait to post this. You guys are the best.
I counted backward from 10. Pop, pop, pop! The other 3 driveway lights exploded into a glossy mess. My parents and sister looked like a picture-perfect family straight from a magazine. Without me. I trudged inside. Glancing back, it appeared no one noticed my absence. I went to my room and did some homework to get my mind off the new car. A knock sounded on my door. I ignored it. The door opened anyway. My mom walked in. We're leaving to watch Natalie's practice. Have fun. I didn't look up from my laptop. Did you even get Natalie a present? I took several deep breaths. All my money goes toward car insurance and gas. Pop, pop. Broken glass showered onto my bed and desk. Be ready to leave in 15 minutes. She left the room. I glanced at the calendar. College never looked so far away. Then I would have the option never to return. But for now, I had to go to my sister's practice and watch everyone gush over the BMW.
Loose Ends by D.D. Van Dyke. June 2005, San Francisco. I'm scribbling these case files down in hopes they'll be useful for another woman in my position, another former cop who's had to kiss the love of her life goodbye and settle for another. I'm not talking about some guy. I'm talking about the force, the thin blue line, the fraternity of police I've been barred from. Being on the outside looking in does have its compensations, because now I'm my own boss. I have an agency, California Investigations, named for yours truly, California G. Corwin. My leftover hippie mother stuck the moniker on me, though it's really not so bad, because I go by Cal. I've always been a tomboy anyway. With a clear docket and hope for a new case this Monday, I reached down to flip the Dropbox open, the one inside my Mission District office off of Valencia. The sounds and smells of San Francisco streets faded behind me as the door swung shut and latched automatically, a feature that said a lot about the neighborhood. Glancing at the Golden Gate Bridge-themed clock on my wall, I saw the big and little hands were just about lining up on noon. I decided I'd let myself off the hook this time for coming in late, as I'd done all right at the poker table last night, picking up a couple C notes. I'd rolled into bed some 6 or 7 hours ago, as dawn struggled to break over the coast range before giving up in the windy face of cold Pacific coast rain. When I don't have a case, I admit I tend to fall into bad habits. No problem, short nights don't bother me much. I'd learned to deal with them from 8 years on the job. Typical Monday morning mail filled my hands: bills, junk,